Hey, what's up, everybody? I did not think I would be doing a video, but I just couldn't resist. This is just a quickie. Over the top. I'm here to thank DSP for turning on LOLCOW Live. I wouldn't have a job without him. I wouldn't be a part of this exciting new project without him. So I'm here to thank him. I'm here to thank him by reviewing his cope session over Turkey Tom's video, A Decade of Failure, DSP. Maybe one day we'll have him on as a guest. The problem with DSP is he has absolutely no self-awareness at all, which is probably the reason he's not on LOLCOW Live, because the guys that I work with, that I shepherd, people call me a LOLCOW. I'm a shepherd. I'm that border collie nipping at the sheep's heels. He could not. I don't think he could be a part of it, and that's just not from me. And it definitely I definitely benefited from not being there, but he's just not self-aware enough to do it. It would just be sabotage. You're seeing LOLCOW Live being extremely difficult to put together as is. Imagine having DSP, it would never happen. So I think the idea between the cows and the farmers that Nick and Keem came up with, and Mudahar and Turkey Tom being involved, this is going to be great. So make sure you check out LOLCOW Live. The first trailer's out. The episode's coming out today. But in the meantime, I'm going to go over DSP's cope on Tom's latest video. But the timing, the stars are aligning for me. Here we go.
Literally, it's not depressing to me, and here's why. All right? When I started on YouTube, I didn't know what I was getting into, nor did I sign up for it. I wasn't signing up to be one of the biggest gaming YouTubers. I didn't really care. To me, it was a joke. Literally, I've said this over the years. To me, it was a complete joke. I never took it seriously. It wasn't until many, many years later that I started to take this. I would argue that until like the year 2016,
when things started to fall off,
I was always treating it like a joke. And it wasn't until 2017 that I actually made an honest effort to actually make good content. Before then, it was just fuck around and everyone watches it and I make money. Like, seriously, that's what it was.
So basically what he's saying is he had this tremendous opportunity prior to 2016. He didn't respect it. He disrespected it, rather. Did not treat it like a business. And then when it started to decline, he started to take it more seriously. That's what that sounds like to me.
To me, that's not sad, because I like who I am today better than I was back then.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you argue that, oh, there's 10 years of failure, 10 years of decline. Yeah, but I'm better now than I ever was.
Talk about being hung up over, or essentially a clickbait title. Who cares? You're better than you are now. I tend to disagree with you. Maybe you are mentally better than you are now, but I don't think you believe that, and I'll prove it. Well, I won't prove it, but I'll make a really good case.
Content's better. It's positive. Doesn't hurt anyone. It's not toxic.
That doesn't make it better. It makes it boring.
I get to enjoy time with my viewers rather than just put out content for money purposes. You know what I'm saying?
This guy just went through bankruptcy. It better be for money purposes.
So I don't understand why you would think that that's a bad thing. I'm okay where I am. Unlike these other guys coming out with documentaries about how miserable they are with their lives and everything's fucked up.
That's you, Boogie, you loser. You big loser. How dare you put a documentary out?
Everything's falling apart. That's literally not happening to me.
Okay.
You get it? Like, I'm happier now and doing better now than I was before. So it's not a decade of failure if you're better off now.
See, this might be the case what I said before. Like, DSP is incapable of being self-aware, which might actually be a great coping mechanism to deal with the reality. Whereas Wings and Boogie are a little more self-aware, and they're like, holy crap, maybe yeah. Whereas there's this sort of this psychotic shield protecting DSP from taking in the reality of the situation, which is one of the reasons I don't think we could have him on LOLCOW Live, because he can't ever be honest for a second. He sabotaged it in a minute.
Oh, then you were. How could it be failure? It's actually completely the opposite. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
How could it be failure? It's actually completely the opposite. Yeah, I don't have as much money, but money is not the determining factor of success.
Hear those video game sounds? It's the sound of failure.
Success in life. If I'm happily married and I like the content now better than I used to do and everything, how the hell is that failure? But that's what I mean. Like, they want bait. They would just want to believe the negative rather than anything.
I'm going to stick up for DSP because I'm in a similar situation. Back in 2016, I was rising. I was on top, and it fell apart. It failed, right? And I got something quite different. Now, and I've heard from 2017 on that I'm a failure. I'm a loser. I didn't. And I got to be honest with you, some of my favorite times are actually my most favorite times are post-baited, right? But I have to admit, and this is where the self-awareness thing comes up, I did fail. I did fail as far as the overall YouTube game to rise to the top. It didn't happen. It did fail. See, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. And this is like when DSP goes, look, I'm happy, I'm comfortable. How is that a failure? And he would be quite right. He's absolutely right. Here's the thing. It bothers him because I hear it all the time, and I just dismiss it, and I say to myself, I'm good, I got a family, I'm doing good, it's kids, whatever, people are going to say that, people are going to say what they say. DSP can't stand the fact that people are going to say what they're going to say, and that's what makes him sort of more of a failure, that he can't even be criticized as being a failure. I mean, the interesting thing, I think what saves me is I never reached the heights of DSP. And he just wants it back desperately. He's, look, I'm happy. Like, if you're so happy, you wouldn't have to say it. You're miserable. And there's been consequences for your actions over the years. And imagine not realizing how funny you are. That's one of the things that working with Wings, he does realize at some level how funny he is.
Anything positive, even though I've been saying ever since, 2017, 2018, I'm happier now than I've ever been. No one wants to believe that. They want to say that's like...
Well, nobody believes it because you keep pointing out when every time somebody calls you a name or a failure, you have a rant about it.
Or something. It's not. It's true.
I believe you.
My life now more than ever before. I'm having a better time with my life now, and I'm doing my best.
Then why? Then just enjoy it. I do. I just enjoy it. I don't complain.
Try to actively improve, and I admit I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time.
I bet you couldn't name one.
But I'm trying to be a better guy, and I'm trying to be a better content creator. And how is that not better off
than
all the contemporary LOLCOWs who everyone hates their life? Oh, I'm so depressed, and I don't want to do this, and blah, blah, blah. I'm the opposite. I'm literally...
Well, you might be right about Boogie there.
Can't wait every day to come to work. I have so much fun with you guys every day. Why hell wouldn't I want to do that? Now I get to spend time with my wife and my family. I'm having a great...
Now, if I believe that, if that's true, yeah, I actually kind of support this statement. All right, I'm not the hot top anymore, but this thing allows me to do what I want to do. Something tells me it's just a bunch of bullshit. But on the surface, it seems like a pretty reasonable response.
And I know someone will send this to Turkey Tom. So
well, of course. You brought like thousands of people see not your content, but your clips. Of course they'll send it to Turkey Tom. Imagine saying that, I know somebody will take this, send this to Turkey Tom. Imagine some guy wow, I was going to send this to Turkey Tom, but I guess it would hurt Phil's feelings, so I guess I'm not going to. What's the point of saying that? Of course they're going to send it. It's redundant.
That's what I would have to ask him. If he really is serious about making a serious documentary. Right.
No, he's made a serious documentary. He's going to make a lot of money on it. And I don't think he really needs your input because it's so skewed and ridiculous.
What's the decade of failure? If I'm better off today than I was before, if I'm healthier, if I'm happier, if I'm more successful when it comes to having a following of people who actually like me for who I am, as opposed to drama or...
I don't believe that either.
Being an idiot on the internet, right? If everything is better now, right? Besides my level of popularity, my views are down, and yes, my income is less than it used to be. But literally, if that's it, if that's all that's different, right? Then how can...
Then that's the failure. The failure is you were on top and you failed to maintain it. Whether you're happy or not after the failure, which is, by the way, great, doesn't make it any less of a failure. Because you're happy doesn't make it less than a failure. Imagine being in the Game 7 of the NBA Finals and missing the three-point shot that would have given you the championship, right? You failed. You failed to win the championship. But maybe over time, you've learned to live with it. Maybe you did commercials goofing in that one moment, and you're actually better off than you were before. You've learned to live with it. A Bill Buckner situation where the ball rolls through Buckner's legs to basically go on to lose the 1986 World Series. Maybe Buckner dealt with that and lived a much better life. You still failed to win the World Series, you dipshit.
Can you say it's a decade of failure?
Easily.
Again, if you were saying a decade of decline, a decade on the downward slope.
We're gonna get a. It's not. You didn't use the right words, Tommy. Oh Jesus! You're gonna get it's just a ridiculous debate on the words of the title, and that's why I know it's a failure. That's why I know this actually hurts you. That's why I know this is a coping session, because you're actually worried about the title. Who cares about the title? The title's designed to bring people in. It's not designed to be truthful. This is YouTube, not journalism. Get the fuck out of here. You want to make a proper documentary? It's YouTube.
It all makes sense to me. That would your criteria is based on views and popularity. You're correct. You're absolutely correct. But
yes, that's the criteria. That's the criteria that you failed to live up to. Hence, failure. See, I think that maybe it's just the kids today. Actually, DSP's close to my age, isn't he? Nobody's supposed to fail. Nobody's ever supposed to fail. I don't know. I when I think of like cool people, it's people that failed and then just like came back from it. That's always the people I remember. You have to fail. I don't know a single successful person on earth that hasn't failed at something. That's just a teenage way of looking at the world, that you could somehow be invincible forever. Few are.
I'm not sad. I'm not unhappy. So how am I as a failure? Everything that I'm doing today is what I've wanted to do. Like, it's intentional. Of how I wanted.
You wanted to go bankrupt?
I wanted things to go and what I wanted to do. So how is that failure? That's what I really don't get. It would be one thing if I was trying to be a top gaming YouTuber and I was failing, and I was trying all the things.
Well, if you were trying to be a YouTuber, nobody would give a shit because you would never succeeded to begin with. You actually did succeed and declined, like everybody. In fairness, I get what you're saying. But I mean, to me, this just says that he would that he does want that stuff, and he does try to get that stuff, and he continues to fail because of the way he behaves. One of the things I'm noticing about the LOLCOW thing is the constant lying, and that really perturbs the audience. And I'm not saying that DSP lied in this particular exchange or in this particular statement. I'm not saying that at all. I don't know if he is or not, but like if you look at Wings, not recently, but he's been caught in some pretty big whoppers. Boogie has been caught in whoppers, and I'm pretty sure he lies to me most of the time. DSP has been caught in whoppers. That's really the LOLCOW formula. Who's the guy? The ISOM guy? Eric July? I'm thinking he's kind of entering that field, because I don't think he's always telling the truth, and he's exaggerating or deflecting and manipulating. You can't hide yourself online. People are going to figure it out eventually. It's the only people that can really do that, and it doesn't last forever, at the tip top. If you have the clout capital to spend, but eventually you can run out. I don't care how big you are. You're going to run out of clout capital. So that's it. That's my view on DSP. I hope you enjoyed it. It was awful funny for me. And I'll see you guys soon. Make sure you check out the LOLCOW podcast. It's sub it below. Come on, get back. This is my last chance. Otherwise, I'll be a loser like DSP. But I'm really happy about it.